Actually, I was very late from the notification I put on the post. I had an emergency meeting from my office, so I had to deal with that first, and that part is actually not over yet. I might still take another call, so I don't know how long I can stream right now. Hopefully not too soon. The call from my office, I mean. I'm so tired. Yesterday also, after the stream yesterday, I went back to the office and then stayed there until about 11:45, I think, just in preparation, just to generate some data for today's meeting, which is not the one that I just took, a different meeting. 9 to 5, man. What the hell is what the hell is with all the meetings? What the hell with all the meetings? Anyway, as usual, I want to play Kind Words. I don't think it's the kind of game that people want to watch, but I like doing it. I like answering people's question and hoping that maybe give them some needed answer, hopefully. And as usual, while between answering question, I wanted to read. And for today's book, I want to read this. If you're from YouTube and you saw my post, there's a better picture there. This is a true story of murder, memory, and the fight for justice in Indonesia. We are tired of violence by Matt Easton. This is about the murder for Indonesian leftist Munir, which is different from the genocide from decades earlier, and also different from the current ongoing genocide by Indonesia to the Papua. So yeah. And also different from Indonesia attack to Malaysia back then, when there's Western interference in Malaysia, and instead of attacking the one to interfere, they attack Malaysia instead. This is for Munir, and I think that's it. I guess we'll see, because I haven't actually read the book, but I know about the case, and now about all the other cases too. Indonesia has a lot to answer for, but unfortunately, it's also a country from the global south, so they have this self-pitying element to them that excuse a lot of their atrocities. I think, at least on the mind from a lot of the people, at least from the mind of the politicians, that's for sure. But before we go into the story, let's answer some letters first. These are the stickers from the last stream I did. I forgot what book I read back then. It doesn't matter. Hey, letters. Then I read the book. Strangers, I'm not sure about my feeling. Maybe a bit sad, maybe a bit choked up. But I just put the bite on me. I do not care. Just put the bite on me. What I care is that he always promises to pay back soon, but he always fails to do so. Always. Okay. Put the bite on me. I never heard that then. That? Maybe? Yes, hi strangers. Since it is your own father, try not to jump to conclusions a bit much without any further context. I don't know why I can. It's just capitals. In families, it is harder to make difficult choice to cut them off, especially if there is context. Behavior is usable in you. But as with many problems, a lot of people have been open about of their relationship with their parents because of how toxic they are as a person. If that is the case with yours, maybe put that into consideration. Yeah, I think there's also a book by Janet McCord, I think, if I'm not mistaken the name. The title of the book is I'm Glad My Mom Died, which I know is very hot take of a title. But it is also a very good book, a very well written book that told the story of why that is the case, and not in a way that just dismiss and that just paint the Janet's mother as this very evil, monstrous being, which she is. But The book also put Janet herself not in a good light, because when you are being raised by someone as toxic as that, sometimes you take some of those behavior, some of those attitudes, unfortunately. So I can see why people would want to cut off relationship with people like that, even if they are your own blood. So don't put that off the table ever. Every child need their parents, but not every parents deserve their child. Every child deserves their parent, but not every parent deserves their child. I think that's how the saying goes. Some frog. Suara some question again from the office. Wait, what? I should not read this out loud. This is for work. this game come out when I was at my worst economically, so there's just no way I can join a member PC, let alone play any game. There's no way for me to play any game, let alone World of Warcraft, which I think at the time is a monthly based payment online game, right? Or is World of Warcraft a free to play game? Warcraft. Which proof that I never did join it. There's a skip. Some journal entries you would recommend for the month of October. Allow some good inspiration for my reflective time. Journal entries. A bit of normal. That's not end. That's not end still. Oh damn, this keyboard sucks. It is 7 PM by the way. Just one of those weeks where the 9 to 5 stretch into 9 to infinity. good book that is trying to see where normal is in our current state of the world. So complicated. Okay. Sorry for that. Current state of the world. Speaking of current state of the world, my work, so many. God damn. Okay. Myth of Normal by Kabarentin Yamate. It's a really good book. If mental state is one of the things that you care about, it's a very good book that is trying to see where normal is in, well, as I type in the game, in our current state of the world, because normal back in the 90s or back in the 70s, back in the 90s is very different from the current normal, because we are currently in late stage capitalism. So everything has every crack in the system has started to be very visible. So it's not like before where they can just the capitalists, the ruling class, the elites can just manufacture content easily to fail the brokenness of the system. Right now it is much easier to see them because everything has gone to shit. So the myth of normal is trying to shift where we see normal, so that the people who work at trying to make people feel normal also understand that if we try to overshoot normal to the state of the 90s, it most of the time it will not work. It can only work in people that is already resilient enough, because a lot of the thing that we do for mental health, like therapy or just some yoga, some exercise, it is trying to build our resilience, right, towards the world, towards the trauma that the world is giving us. And because a lot of late stage capitalism brokenness is very traumatic, with the lowercase t, lowercase t trauma, yeah. So we have to shift those how we build our resilience, because if not, it will not work. So that is what the book is for. Recommendation is A Brief History of Neoliberalism. This is a book that I've read also just recently. The Myth of Normal I read a few months ago, so I don't really remember a lot of them. But I know what it's trying to do and what it is arguing for. A Brief History of Neoliberalism is the history of our current state of not just our current state, but the current political and economic system that most of the world right now is using. It's a very educational read about why we are currently where we are. Another word. The History of Neoliberalism by David Harvey, because it's detailing the current That's my answer for this one. Worry about my future? Yep, because I'm already 26 years old and got no money and no car, and no girls around. I don't know what is my future. I know I want to quit my job to chase my dream. What? Years old by current standard is still very young. I can't give you much answer. Nothing, because there is so much context missing in the how better money is. Job. What the money is, what is the job you have right now, that you want to quit, and what kind of dream that you want to chase. Anything else you want to do? That dream is something like chase that dream into your job, like I'm doing right now. I'm doing my job while chasing my dream. I don't even know what dream it is. Balance between ideal between ideal of what you want versus you are living. So it's usually there. Thumbs up. Okay, that's 3 questions. Let's read them. This is the blurb if you're interested. On a warm Jakarta night in September 2004, Munir said goodbye to his wife and friends at the airport. He was bound for the Netherlands to pursue a master degree in human rights, but Munir never reached Amsterdam alive. Before his plane touched down, the 38 years old, one of the leading human rights activists of his generation, lay dead in the fourth row. Munir's daring investigation of the killings and abductions that occurred over 3 decades of authoritarian rule by the former President Suharto had earned him powerful enemies. Undeterred, Munir's wife Susiwati and his close friend Usman Hamid launched their own investigation. They uncovered a conspiracy involving spies, a mysterious co-pilot, black magic, and deadly poison. Drawing on interviews, courtroom observation, leaked documents, and police files, this book uncovers the dramatic murder plot and titanic struggle to bring the perpetrators of Munir's death to justice. A powerful work of narrative non-fiction, We Are Tired of Violence tells the story of a shocking crime that serves as a window into a nation struggling to shake off a terrible legacy. As I said, Indonesia has a legacy of atrocities that they did both to their own people and the government. They did a lot of horrible stuff to their own people and also to foreign nations. Okay, note on sources and translation. Dialogue from trials and other public events were recreated from monitoring reports, witness transcripts, videotapes, and news articles. Direct quotes from private meetings are from interviews with one or more people present and have been confirmed as much as possible. In most cases, this manner of sourcing is indicated in the text by noting that someone remembers or recalls a conversation. Where sources give diverging accounts of an event, the text describes that version was supported by documentary evidence or contemporary news account, with the alternative sometimes described in the endnotes. Cited embassy cables are from the WikiLeaks release, unless it is otherwise specified that they have been declassified. That's nice. Some sources requested anonymity for their own security. As an indication of their concern, several sources referred to the State Intelligence Agency or PIN only as 3 letters and avoided mentioning key actors by name. Indonesians often use one name and also may refer to public figures and other by first names. The text generally used the name as a person is most commonly known by. The current spelling conventions are used except where proper names such as Poinky or Soekarno more commonly use the older orthography. So Indonesia changed their bahasa once. So there's old Indonesian and then there's new bahasa. Some pronunciation is indicated, but otherwise Indonesian is very consistent and easy to pronounce. The letter C is pronounced ch, and most words emphasize the second to last syllable. For example, Suciwati is pronounced Suciwati, though French call her Suci. Okay. Prologue, A Red and Clouded Sky, 2004. On the evening of September 6, 2004, their final family dinner came to an end, and it was time for Munir to say goodbye. Knowing an airport parting would be too hard for their 2 young children, he and his wife Suciwati pulled Alif and Diva into a tight hug. Munir told them softly, "I have found my heaven." Leaving their son and daughter in the care of a young niece, the couple drove through Jakarta's outskirts. The gathering dust had begun to hide the poster of the candidates, plastered everywhere ahead of Indonesia's first direct presidential election in its eventful half-century as a nation. The couple arrived at Soekarno-Hatta International Airport with enough time to order some milk and hot chocolate at a Dunkin' Donuts stand. To Muni's surprise, a minivan of friends arrived. Not content with a week of goodbye parties held over Muni's protest, the thing I've always been most afraid of is the farewell party, he said after being lured to one he believed would be an enjoyable discussion about politics and law. In the lofty departure terminal is the sign inspired by the thick roof beams of Java's villages and the sculptured stone temples of Bali. The group gathered around the pink seat of the donut stand. Just before 8, Munir went to check in while his old friend and colleague Poinky ordered a box of donut holes for everyone. When Munir returned, Poinky handed him a stack of checks to sign to keep their human rights group running while he spent a year studying in the Netherlands. She made him promise to send his critique of a draft law to reform the army as soon as he got to Utrecht. Indonesia, like a lot of other countries like America, German, UK, Turkey, and so on and so forth, had a very violent army that is not only violent, that mostly use their violence on their own people because they don't. That's just what they do. The government owns monopoly on violence, right? Seated next to her husband, Suci finished his hot chocolate, gently tapping the cup with a swizzle stick between her fingers. Her arm rested on one of 2 suitcases she'd carefully packed with clothes, gift for Dutch friends, and some kayu putih oil for stomach aches or sore muscles. Munir told a story. A few months before, an immigration officer had stopped him as he was trying to depart for Geneva. The man told him he was banned from leaving Indonesia, Unsure if the officer was following a genuine order or fishing for a bribe, Munir took out his phone. He called General Hendro Priyono, the head of the state intelligence agency. Munir had recently asked a court to bar Hendro Priyono from that job due to his role in a massacre years before. The effort had only succeeded in angering the general, but he answered when Munir called and assured him he was free to leave the country. As Munir described handing his phone to the white-eyed immigration officer to hear for himself, the group burst out laughing around the box of donut holes. Suchi smiled as her husband drained a thread of power and made it somehow seem funny. Munir's former driver realized he had no picture with his old boss after all their years together. Sugiarto had been with Munir during some frog moments, once driving him and Suchi through the dark street of Jakarta until the sun came out to avoid a rumored abduction. Munir didn't like posing for pictures, but he rarely stood up for a photo with Sugiarto, which Poinky took with her first digital camera. Munir took a picture with Poinky, her fingers held up in a V. After that, with a staffer who had just had his long hair straightened, "You're prettier than I am now," joked Suchi. Munir and Suchi took a last photo together. He draped his left arm over her shoulder as her hand reached up to hold his fingers. Munir grinned broadly under his mustache, while Suchi managed a close-mouthed smile. The group left the couple alone to say goodbye. He held her tight and seemed to waver. Then he said, "Bismillah, I'm sure I can do it," as if trying to reassure them both. "I can do it." It was one of the only times he'd ever seen him cry. With luck and funding, the family will reunite in time to spend a damn Dutch winter together. As the car carried Suchi away swiftly along the airport road in the dark, Munir texted to say he'd passed through immigration. He passed through a final security checkpoint around 9 and proceeded down one of the airy corridor arrayed like spokes within the terminal arc to gate E7. Poinky had already begun to worry about Munir. He had given Poinky her first job a decade before, back home in East Java. She'd witnessed Munir's courage many times under President Suharto and in the turbulent 6 years since his fall. But Poinky's impulse to protect old Munir never faded. Just a few days ago, she asked a friend to meet Munir at the airport in Amsterdam, saying, "I'm entrusting Munir to you, okay?" Munir had said he just needed a map and an airline ticket, and he'd find his way. I already asked her to pick you up when he had told him there's no point discussing. Worried Munir might already be lonely, Poinky called him around 9:20 and passed the phone around the Toyota Kijang for a final goodbye from everyone except Sugiarto, who preferred to keep his hands on the wheel. When they hung up, Munir called his mother in the hill town of Batu, in keeping with the Javanese tradition of asking permission before leaving. She promised to pray for his safety. Around 9:30, Munir boarded the aging 747, his tail emblazoned with the airline mythic namesake Garuda, Vishnu mounts, king of birds, devourer of snakes, and the protector against their poison. After a 9:55 departure, Flight 974 gained altitude over the red roof villages of West Java. It passed over Pulau Seribu, hundreds of tiny islands sprayed like shotgun pellets from Jakarta Bay out into the Java Sea. The plane flew in darkness across the Sunda Strait and over the dwindling mangrove forest that fringe the Sumatran coast. It descended over the Riau Island and crossed the 10-mile expanse of the Singapore Strait at the edge of the Indonesian archipelago. After an hour and 50 minutes on the air, the plane landed in Singapore. The passengers spent under an hour in the quiet midnight corridors of Changi Airport before returning to the plane for the long flight to Amsterdam. Soon after midday prayers the next day, Suchi answered her home phone. It was Usman Hamid, Munir's friend and successor at the human rights group Contras. "Suchi, where are you now?" he asked. "I'm at home." "Don't you know you called my home?" Her voice rose. "What is it, Usman?" "Suchi, have you heard the news about Munir?" Usman stammered. His voice was shaky and hoarse. She hadn't, and Munir really should have texted or called her by now from Amsterdam. Usman told her simply, "Munir has died." Suchi felt as if she'd fallen from high up in the clouds into hard earth. A darkness choked her, and her legs felt weak. Suchi struggled to think. She needed to know what happened. She needed to prove it wasn't true. Decades of censorship and lies, followed by years of political turmoil, had created an environment ripe for rumors in a village of 10 million like Jakarta. Many arose spontaneously, sometimes compared to mushrooms in the rainy season. More often, rumors were crafted to threaten and frighten. Indonesia is one of the countries that use a lot of fake news ahead of its time. One of them is, of course, the genocide, the PKI member genocide that killed millions of Indonesians. And it is still being done even now. As many capitalist, it's not just Indonesia, right? A lot of capitalist countries are doing this because they have to uphold the status quo, the capital of the ruling class. Indonesia is also one of them, which is why a lot of the media right now that is in Indonesia is just putting up, it's just trying to shape the common sense of the people about how their economy works and that they're still going strong despite the ongoing and rising inequality and the increasing difficulties of life in general. I think recently there was some Australian journalist that went into Papua to investigate the genocide that is happening there, and Indonesia also put out a lot of fake news about those journalists when they found out that the Australian journalists are investigating them. Suci would not believe Munir was dead until she saw his body herself or spoke to someone who had. Her disbelief came not just from years of rumor and threat. She could not accept that someone she felt to be a part of her soul could be gone in an instant. Her suspicion and denial grew as Suci called the airports, the airline, and her friends in the Netherlands. No one would confirm the rumor. No one would tell her anything at all. On her fourth call to Amsterdam, she erupted at a Garuda employee. "I have a right to information about my husband." There was a long pause before the man whispered, Yes, he's dead." "Had he seen the body? Seen it with his own eyes?" "He had." "Please," he said, "don't tell anyone I told you." Damn. Okay. That's how you start a book, I guess. That's the prologue of the book. And there is that. How many pages was that? A short 5. And the length of the book is. It was weird. Some pages was. Never mind. $292. No, that's the postscript. 290. There's a lot of sources at the back, which I love about books, about non-fiction books. What are the sources? Let me add some drinks. And let me answer to some of the work that I'm doing at the office. Okay, let me answer some questions from my workers. This is what happens if you have a 9 to 5 job and then you also want to start streaming. Yeah, to do a bit of multitasking. too busy to stream, I think. God damn it. Let me just answer a few more questions and then I guess I'll end the stream for now, even though I just read the prologue of the book and I want to read more. But I just don't have the time for it. God damn it. Tomorrow I also have to go out. Tomorrow I also have voluntary work for the office to clean the forest, and that I also will still need to do while doing a meeting. The last 2 weeks has been such a busy weeks. Let's answer 3 more questions and then I'll end the stream. Give an explanation on how I feel emotionally. Like normal, I process things very slowly and it's extremely hard for me to tell people the reason why I feel certain way when I don't know. I've been sad for a while, but I have no clue why. Describe well how you feel, especially if you have no idea what you're feeling. Have the name of what you're feeling. Some expression, but word for it, how to seek additional help, figure it out. Contact of strangers on the internet. Time to read some books. Titles like The Meat of Normal or still doing this while I'm also answering my job. This is not the best way to stream. So we have a friend channel. I've started using my notes app more to talk about one friend that's not IRL, rather than use the channel in my IRL friend group. Is it odd to say I find the friend channel easier to use than notes? I do not wish to burden IRL though. What do you mean? The notes app is just notes. I don't understand what they're saying. Again, I don't know what to do or what I'm feeling. I know how long it has taken me to heal back up to this point, but I think I just can't do it. I feel like I want to give up. It hurts so much and maybe I got used to what it was like to be broken. I'm so confused right now. I do can get used to everything. That is how unhealthy habit forms. But getting used to them does not make them good. It just became your comfort. Talkbox. You want to get healthier. You need to eventually get out of that box and do the necessary talk to get better. It'll be hard, but it's better than the other. My brain cannot think to answer the question from my work because I'm too too busy. So many things to do. Yeah, this is the last one. Ryan has been acting weird. Said he needed to talk but needs some time before. Has been days and things are weird, but he still actively seeks to interact digitally and just won't set up a meetup to talk. I just want to go back to normal, but I feel it shouldn't be him to reach out. I feel it should be him to reach out. He doesn't. Some people have different kind of needs. Maybe that's figure things out on his end. My suggestion is to just plain ask him if that is what he needs. If he said that he wanted to be left alone for a while, say that you do so, but that he can reach out to you if he needed you. Other than that, it is out of your control. Man, I still want to do some more, but I just can't. Work has been intense these few weeks. Okay, thank you guys for watching. I'm sorry that the stream is so scuffed because I'm still in the middle of work. Even though this is 8 p.m. 9 to 5 my ass. It is what it is. You gotta hit them with one of those. So, that's it for my stream. I'm going to have another call in around 10 or 15 minutes. So let me rest for a while. I can talk English hard, brain melting. I'll see you guys next time, okay? Bye bye.